Can I just pick? Oh no, better not pick my notes. We're live.
I'm going to wipe it on you. Oh no, sorry, that's going down. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live. The Frag lads are back, and you may have noticed in my bottom screen, I'm not sure how it works for you, we have a new member of the group. So, hi, Chris. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
That's you, yeah.
I'm kind of here for a lot of these lives, so I don't really feel new, but I guess maybe I'm new on screen for this kind of thing.
Yeah. So in the last episode we went through the Gallivant series, and we felt it went quite well, and we all had a chat afterwards, and we all I think went away from that thinking it went really well, and we all enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So we quite quickly agreed to move on to another idea. And we cemented this a little while ago, and we all finally got our boxes in of the Maison Margiela. How do we pronounce that? Is anyone better at French than me? Margiela? Maison Margiela?
Yeah.
Maison Margiela. Maison Margiela.
Yeah.
Nice. And it's the Replica line. So we have got 10 fragrances to go through this evening, and we'll all be giving out thoughts on them. And next time, I think we've even got our next box planned, and we're going to try and do this maybe once a month, lads. We're in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Chris might not know an awful lot about this.
What's the next box? Are we allowed to say on live, or are you going to tell me after?
Oh, Ant's gone again. Should we? Are we allowed to say that? Do we think? I think we are, aren't we?
Yeah, I've got no problem.
Yeah, but
we mentioned it in the group, and I think we're all in agreement. We'd like to try them. So we're going to be going with the Atelier range, and you can buy the. We can buy the box from John Lewis. There's about 8 to 10 fragrances in there, and it's a house that I'm certainly not that familiar with, and I think the lads would like to try a few from them. So I think that's going to be the next live. So we're going to maybe do that in another month. We're not going to do too many of these. Maybe once a month. It gets too expensive. We keep buying these boxes too often. So we'll maybe do this once a month, and we'll come back. But thanks for everybody in the chat for joining. I'll just mention who I can see so far, and then we'll move on to the first fragrance. We will try and get Ant back in as quick as we can. We're not sure what's going on with his internet connection tonight. I think he needs to go and change the batteries in a router or something. But so we have Lizzie was first in the chat. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks for joining. We have Heather. We have Paul. We have Centurion. So we have Scott. We have Nigel, Tom, Jackie, Brandon, Russell. So we have a good amount of people in the chat. So thank you, everybody.
That's good.
Let's move on. We'll try and get Ant back in as soon as we can. He may have to go last at this rate. But let's move on to the first fragrance of the evening. And the first fragrance we're going to be talking about is Lazy Sunday Morning. Let me go that right side of the camera. And I can smell this as soon as I get it out the box. So Lazy Sunday Morning. Nick, what I'll do is I'll run through the notes, and then we'll move straight on to you.
Yes, mate.
So Lazy Sunday Morning. In the top, we have aldehydes, pear, lily of the valley. In the mid, we have iris, rose, and orange blossom. And in the base, we have white musk, Indonesian patchouli leaf, and ambret musk mallow. So, Nick, what were your thoughts on feelings on this one?
So this one, initially, when I first sprayed it, took me back to when I was younger, and I had a Dunhill fragrance. I don't know if it was Dunhill London, and it really reminded me of that fragrance. I don't know if it is London, but as soon as I sprayed it, I thought of a Dunhill fragrance. But for me, this just reminds me of clean linen, just diving in a pile of clean clothes. And I feel this is the sort of Tel Aviv of this lot compared to the Gallivant. It's that comfort, clean, nice, fresh linen type of fragrance. Really nice for me. I think for me, it's soft and pleasant. I found it quite addictive because of how clean it smelled. And I'd probably wear this, I don't know, if I'd left a gym and I wanted to smell nice and clean, But yeah, overall for me, it's nice and pleasant.
Good stuff. So you enjoyed it then? Something you would maybe own, possibly?
Yeah, I think for the amount that I kept wanting to smell it, I definitely have something like this in my fragrance, but it's not something that is wows me.
Yeah, okay. But you liked it?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Kevin, what was your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. This was one of my favourites. When I sprayed that first, I wore this yesterday, and it was very, very
problem with
floral.
Kevin's mic. Can anyone else hear Kevin?
Has it gone off?
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear him.
I can hear him.
I think it's your ears, Tony.
What's going on?
It's them headphones.
Keep going, Kev.
Right,
yeah,
Kevin, can you do me a favour? Sorry to interrupt, but when you finish speaking, could you just give me a thumb?
So when I sprayed this, very, very floral, very nice, and he was something in it that kept drawing me back. Now I do get the musks, but I'm a massive fan of rose, so I looked up the notes, and obviously I knew there was rose in it. That's what was drawing me back, I think. Very clean, like Nick said, very clean, very fresh, very easy to wear. Now, would I buy a bottle? I'm not too sure, because I don't know if we get enough wear out of it, but I was very impressed. Nice longevity. This was one of the ones that lasted the longest and projected the most on me out of the line. So for me, it was a really nice scent. I was quite surprised because I expected to smell a lot different.
Thanks, Kevin. Cheers. Barry, what's your thoughts and feelings, mate, on it?
What did you think of what Kevin said, Tone?
You can't hear no one, I don't think.
I can't hear Barry now. You're joking. What is going on? And I can hear you
Tony.
clearly, Chris, and I can hear you.
You can hear
Chris,
me,
as
okay?
well.
Can you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you, and I can hear Nick.
Oh my days!
Right.
Very, very.
Do you want me to
strange.
repeat? Do you want me to repeat every line that that Barry and Kevin say to you?
No, not at all. I think what I'll do is I'll let Barry do the talking, and then I'll come out of the stream and come back in again. I think. Not quite sure what's going on here. StreamYard doesn't like me, I don't think. Let's get either that or I need new equipment. Barry, you carry on, mate. I'm just going to pop out the screen and I'll pop back in again.
So no worries.
Meltdown as usual.
It wouldn't be a Tony stream, would it, without some technical difficulties? So for me, this is fresh linen, isn't it? Now, a lazy Sunday morning for me is like the smell of doner kebab and a bit of booze on your bedclothes. Not really fresh linen, is it? And that's what I get from it.
Do you?
No. I get the fresh linen. I think I mentioned this with Tel Aviv. We got a candle like this, one of the Joe Malone ones, and it's like a fresh linen scent. And that's what it is to me. That's all it is, really. You get a bit of the iris and the rose in it, but other than that, I don't really get much else.
Would you wear it, Barry?
Probably not. I do think it probably goes a bit more feminine than for me.
I think it's very feminine. I think this was one of the more feminine leaning ones out of the range. I know they all are quite unisex, aren't they? I don't know if they are a unisex brand, but this is one of the ones that leans more to the feminine side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Chris? What did you think?
Well, I mean, like you, I was expecting eggs, bacon, and coffee accords in there, which is kind of what a lazy Sunday morning is for me. There's not a lot of rose in my lazy Sunday mornings, I have to say. I found the rose quite prominent in there, but not to the point that I didn't enjoy it. I think I would wear this, but I think I'd probably just wear it to enjoy around the house. I don't think I'd go out in public. I don't think it's really the style of fragrance I'd like to wear in public. And as you've all said, you know, you hit the nail on the head with the fresh laundry. It just smells like you've pulled your laundry straight out of the dryer. And I mean, it smells nice. Fresh laundry smells nice, doesn't it? It's fresh, it's bright, it's vibrant. It's a really pleasant, I find it a very relaxing scent, actually.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I could wear this at home and just, out the shower, whatever, and I'd put this on. I'd just feel very, very relaxed. But yeah, bright, airy. Rose, I think, to me is the most prominent note, but still wearable. I've categorized all these into whether I think they're okay, whether I like them, or whether I love them. So for me, this is a like. Okay, so it's just in the middle. So it's fine, but not really my style to wear out in public.
Yeah,
definitely. These types of scents, they are quite light and they're easy to wear. And like you say, on a nice, sunny afternoon or whatever, you get out of the shower, you're going to chill out in the back with a cup of tea and just relax. It's one of them.
Yeah.
It's very pleasing, it's nice, and it's just, but with the way that's going out on a Saturday night, no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I do want to say, and I think this goes for all of them in this discovery set. The quality is great. The blend is very good. It's nicely, it's a smooth blend. It's well done. It's well crafted. It's a good quality fragrance. So they obviously, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Can anybody get the pear note in it? Because there is a pear note in there, but I can't pick it out.
No, it's not very prominent, is it? The rose dominates it for me.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of musk because I've got upstairs the Body Shop white musk.
Yeah, it has got white musk in, hasn't it?
I throw that on sometimes when I get out the shower. Dead easy to wear. I got the shower gel and all that, so I get a bit of that. I pick a bit of that up in this.
Yeah. Anthony, can you hear us?
I can now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Good.
We're just rounding things off with Lazy Sunday Morning. So, do you want to have a go at
that? Yeah, I popped that on this morning actually, just to test it out, and I wasn't as thrilled by it as some of the other ones that are in the set. I won't lie. It was nice. It was quite a fresh, it reminded me of something you could throw on maybe in the evening or something, or maybe something if you were just going out for a nice walk or something like that. But it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't it wasn't horrible or anything like that. It was just quite nice.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same as you on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I would wear it, absolutely would wear it, but if I've got my choice of 9 others, it's not going to be my first choice.
Yeah.
Shall we all do a tester for Tony, see if he can hear us?
Hey,
1, 2, Tony.
Can you hear us, Tony? I think that's a no. Okay.
Mate.
We can't hear him either.
Yeah, we can't hear Tony.
Okay. All right. So, should we do this sign language?
We can learn. We can all learn together.
I'm just going to put
He's gone
in the
again.
chat. All right. Shall we move on, or did Tony still needs to talk about that one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He can catch up later, can't he?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. He can do 2 in a row, can't he?
Yeah.
So
Nick, do you want to pick one?
Yeah.
So shall I go with Jazz Club?
Yeah.
I'll just follow on with Jazz Club. Jazz Club surprised me with the overall smell of it, because I felt like in the fireplace would have been my sort of in my brain as to what Jazz Club would have been. I think the tobacco is not as prominent as I thought it would be with the name of the fragrance. It's there, but I thought it might have been a bit more heavier than what it actually is. And what I really like about it, it's got a nice sweetness to it. And I don't know whether that's the citrus or the vanilla that's in the fragrance. And that really stood out for me, was the sweetness in it. And I think that's what surprised me. But I think overall, if I was to think of the name, I would have leaned towards the smell of In the Fireplace as a sort of jazz club type of fragrance. But yeah, for me, the performance was quite average for me on this one when I tested it out. But I really enjoyed it. It was something that was really nice, a lot better than Lazy Sunday, and it's probably up there with one of the high ones that I really enjoy out of this box set.
So with me on this one, I really enjoyed this one. I think it's like a sweet spiced rum. I think I've got rum in it, and I don't really get the same. Don't really get the tobacco. I think it's more aimed towards tobacco smoke rather than it's like meant to be a smoky room, and I do get the vanilla. Now this is one of the ones I would wear this on a night out. And it's one of the most versatile ones out of like the collection, I think. But I'm the same. The longevity is not the best on me as with Nick, and the projection doesn't really project. It's nice. I think this would be a nice date scent more than a club or anything like that. It's like a more intimate settings and things. Well, I enjoy this one. I think this is one of the top ones out of the range for the bees, because it is really nice. And it's one of them double seductive scents, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of my favourites out of the collection, if not my favourite, just because it is so versatile. But for anyone who doesn't know what Jazz Club smells like, it's got similarities to Dolce & Gabbana's The One. It has that that kind of mass appealing sweetness, and it's got that light tobacco and the spices in there. And like Nick, I feel that the description that Maison Margiela give this fragrance is slightly misleading, because it makes you think of something else. If you think of a smoky jazz club in Brooklyn, I don't think of this fragrance. I think of more smoke. I think of a dirtier fragrance, a darker, slightly more challenging fragrance. And this isn't that. This is a very easy to wear, mass appealing, mainstream type of fragrance. And I don't think the tobacco stands out. I don't think the booze stands out too much, although I agree with Kevin, and I really get like a Sailor Jerry's type of spiced rum vibe with it. But what I do think is that it is all one lovely smooth blend, rather than it having prominent notes that stand out. It's just this buttery, smooth, sweet, very easy to wear fragrance that I think out of all of them in this discovery set is the one that I would wear the most. It's very me. I'd go out wearing this and feel very comfortable and confident wearing this. Spring, autumn, winter, this is an absolute winner for me. And although it's not as I find By the Fireplace a bit more beast mode, this is definitely not that, but I do find it has better performance than Dolce & Gabbana's The One. So I think it's a great alternative to people who love The One but want something a little bit stronger. I think Jazz Club might do that for you. It's a love from me.
Cool.
Yeah, this one's a bit of me. This one, I'd be wearing this much more than some of the others. I think this is more like the baby brother to By the Fireplace almost, because they've got similarities in their overall scent profile. Like the sweetness comes out. It's not obviously nowhere near as smoky, which, like you said, is kind of misleading considering the name. But yeah, the slight spicy sweetness for this one is just, yeah, it's just lovely. Like this would, like Kev said, I would wear this on a night out. Obviously not in the summertime. I think it's too sweet for summer. But definitely on your more colder evenings, this would be lovely. And it's definitely one that I would say, again, similar to what Kev says, it's more of a cuddle kind of fragrance. Like you'd wear this wanting to cuddle up to someone. It's quite a warming, inviting aroma. But yeah, this one is definitely a bit of me. This is up there for me within the 10 that we've got.
Yeah, for me, I mean, jazz club. What do I picture of a jazz club? Something like Billy Joel playing a piano, that sort of thing. And I was expecting a lot more, like you said, Chris. But for me, I mean, you get a bit of rum and a bit of tobacco, but I was expecting, I mean, I love my boozy scents. and I was expecting it to like really project through, but it doesn't. And to be fair, it's a nice, clean jazz club, like you said, and I do like it, and it is something that I would wear, but it's not my favourite out the line. And Tony's back.
Barry, I would love to have been in that bar with Billy Joel playing Piano Man as well. I think that would have been a cool bar to be in.
I love that song.
It's one of my favourites. Amazing. Tony, can you hear us? Not yet.
Yeah, I can hear you all. I'm just going to make sure I've got no echo.
Yeah, we've got no echo from you, mate.
No echo. Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Sounding good.
Excellent. Well, sorry, fellas. I've had to plug in my drug phone, my other phone. I call it my drug phone because no one has two phones.
You got a burner.
Exactly. No, sorry about that. I was listening a little bit because I could turn my phone up and hear a bit, but now I can hear you all, which is great. I don't know what was going on.
You just finished the box set anyway. Very much.
Anyone would think that I've got cheap technology here, but running the phones and laptop and stuff, I've got it all that I need, but it just never seems to work for me.
So we've just gone over Lazy Sunday and Jazz Club, Tony.
Okay, so with the Lazy Sunday, I'll move back to my thoughts just very quickly. I won't waffle because we've moved on from that. But I got a lot of what you got. I was listening to some of what was being said, and I got the fabric softener, the fresh laundry. I got a slightly sweet note maybe coming from the pear. I'm not sure. It didn't smell like pear to me. I struggled to detect it, but I think there was maybe some sweetness from there. And in the dry down, I got a very clean, expensive soap, like something from a posh hotel. And that's what I got from it personally. So that was my thoughts and feelings on Lazy Sunday morning. Jazz Club. Did everyone finish on Jazz Club?
Yeah.
Have you been seeing that it's been compared to a couple of other fragrances? I read this on Fragmental. It's been compared to Bulgari's Man Black Cologne. If that smells anything like this, that might be worth having a look at. And also, a really unusual one, Youth Hom Wild, it's been compared to as well. Never smelt it.
Never tried anything.
If it smells anything like it and it's a fraction of the cost, it might be worth looking at. I think it's slightly similar to a similar DNA to Rich Warm Addictive with the vanillic dry down.
Yeah, definitely.
And it also reminds me of what D&G could be as well, if it went further and lasted a bit longer. D&G the one. So I really enjoyed this fragrance. I don't know if you got the same as me, but it went on for a long time, but it sat quite close to the skin. It performed well enough in terms of I could smell it for a long time, but it was quite close. I had to sort of go to it rather than getting wafts of it, if that makes sense. So I kept having to check to see if it was there, and it was, but I think I got a bit nose blind to it possibly. I don't know what your thoughts and feelings were on that.
I think we all had a bit of performance issues with it, to be fair. It didn't really last that long on, and maybe it's just my skin, I don't know, but it didn't really last that long on my skin.
Yeah. Well, should we move on to the next one? Hopefully get back to normal now.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, so moving on to Beach Walk then as the next one. Top notes are bergamot, pink pepper, lemon. In the mid we have ylang-ylang, heliotrope and coconut milk. And in the base, we have musk, cedar, and benzoin. So, Nick, do you want to take us through your thoughts?
Yeah, so there's a few of these fragrances that sort of took me to a personal place and made me think of a certain time of where I've smelled a similar smell. And this is one of them. So this reminded me of when I go on holiday and quite a lot of my day is spent getting my young two girls with suntan lotion all day, every day. We're on holiday in the heat at the beach. It's that sort of sun cream, white, musky type of smell. In the notes, I think it's got coconut, but I didn't really pick up too much of the coconut for me personally. But yeah, I really enjoyed the smell. It was a very easy wear, and I found it's quite a lovely scent overall. But again, this for me was a bit of a skin scent, so it's not a sort of monstrous performer. So yeah, it was a bit of an average performer, but overall, lovely scent for me.
Excellent. Kevin, what was your thoughts? Maybe I'll hear you this time.
Yeah, well, I get the little coconut vibe. I get a coconut hair type of vibe. A little bit salty as well, which is really obviously must be given that sea fresh vibe. Nice and clean, easy to wear, but after 3 hours, I was really digging. I wore this for work about 2 days ago. I was really digging into my hand at the time after 2 or 3 hours. So it didn't really perform that well on me. But I think this would be good if you're out on holiday and you're walking around, you want to go for a stroll at the daytime. You can have a little walk around, a couple of drinks. It's a nice, easy wear. And you could, I think this is one of the ones that you could wear in the high heat. It's not going to be too cloying because it is very light, very fresh. And it has got that little touch of salt to it, in my opinion. But I do get a little bit of coconut, a little bit of pear, but there's not, obviously, I don't think there's no pear in it, but I like a little bit of a fruitiness to it. But it's not, this is not my cup of tea, really. It wouldn't really go compared to this.
Excellent. Thanks, Kevin. Anthony, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this one. This is a love for me. Like first spray, it was like, oh yeah, I'm having some of that. And I don't know if it's just the name of it that made me think of it, but it does instantly kind of take you to a beach and warmer weather. It's just so refreshing. For me, it's more florally than anything else. Like I feel like it's really quite florally to my nose. But it's just really clean, really fresh. Something that is so inoffensive, completely inoffensive. So you could get away with this in pretty much any occasion, really, for me. Like I know it's like beach walk, so it's kind of like reminiscent of the beach and being outside, but that's like a perfect office scent for me. Like it's really nice and clean and fresh. I just love it. Like I could dip my head in it. I'm not going to. I mean, I don't have enough of it to dip my head in it, but you know.
Barry, what was your thoughts? Thanks, Ant.
Yeah, I'm a bit like Anthony with this one. I absolutely
What, you want to dip your head in it?
Yeah, something like that. You know when you go to the seaside, you get out your car, you're the part right by the sea, and the first thing you do is you get all that fresh sea air into your lungs. That's what it reminds me of. And the sun cream vibe from it as well. And Chris, I was going to ask you this actually. You know the 1 million parfum? Does it smell anything like this?
So this is sweeter and not as salty as 1 million parfum. So that kind of has that sun creamy vibe, but there's much more of like sweaty, salty skin mixed in with it. So yeah, and that doesn't particularly have coconut in, I don't think, the 1 million parfum.
See, I love the, I don't know how you say, is it ylang ylang? And the heliotrope in this as well. I think it just freshens it up beautifully. I think it's lovely, really nice. And you don't normally catch me wearing many florals, and I would wear this anytime. Love it.
Totally agree.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah,
Chris,
so for me, so this is the first one that actually smelled exactly like I wanted it to smell, looking at the name and the description. And I remember wearing or trying Amoage's Beach Up Man for the first time, and I thought it was going to smell like this type of scent because it has beach in the name, so you expect that kind of coconut sun cream. So it's really nice when a fragrance just completely connects with the name and the description, and I got that 100% with this one. So for me, it's the ylang ylang and the coconut, because it's the coconut for me in sun cream that makes me think fragrances have that suntan lotion type of vibe. So this is just kind of just relaxing on holiday, just chilling on the beach, wearing your suntan lotion. I got pretty decent performance off this. I really enjoy this type of scent. I find it a very easy wear. It's got a bit of a tropical feel to it with the coconut. And I think that's balanced really well with the slightly salty accord. So really nicely put together. And for me, this one was a love. I really like it.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with this, really. I don't see how you can't not like it. It's one of those fragrances, isn't it, that I think you'd struggle to find someone. There might be people that aren't sort of overwhelmed by it, but there will be, I think you can't not like it. It's one of those fragrances, isn't it? So I had a little couple of notes. I put that, to me, it was like a walk along the beach. Like I thought Barry explained brilliantly, when you get out of the car and you've got that fresh intake of fresh air, sort of that salty sea air. But mixed with that suntan lotion that you've been mentioning as well, Chris, it's got that, you can smell the coke. I think you can smell the coconut in it, but it's never overpowering like some other coconut fragrances. It just sits there in the background. So it's not like the coconut you'd find in Virgin Island water, for example. It's not really, really prominent. It just sits in the background, but gives it that suntan lotion feeling. So this, to me, just would make that perfect holiday fragrance. I can imagine wearing this to the beach in a hot country. I think it would work really well as a daytime fragrance. I think it's sort of quite typical blue fragrance as well. There is some genericness to it. I found a little bit synthetic, but what I found from it was that it really matched the description of the scent very, very well. The perfume has obviously worked very hard to get what they were trying to achieve from this. And I'm not sure. And that's one thing I'll say about a lot of the line, which we'll move on to, that they've done very well. You picture the scene very well. And this is a very photo-realistic fragrance in my eyes. So that was my thoughts on it.
Does what it says on the tin.
Yeah,
Exactly that.
definitely.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks, gents. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one, a big smile on my face for this one. At the Barbers. In the top, we have bitter orange, basil, black pepper, and in the mid, we have lavender, geranium, and rosemary. And in the base, we have tonka, leather, moss, and white musk. Nick, what were your thoughts?
So this is straight up a manly scent. Again, the name matches the fragrance for me. I just have visions of you going for that fresh haircut. You've had a cutthroat shave. You've got the classic Tony White shirt on, and feeling fresh. So yeah, this is very musky, bit powdery. Overall, I really enjoyed this. I'm not a sort of into the type of barber fragrances, but this I really enjoyed, and it really surprised me when I tested it out, because I'm not really into sort of your old school type of fragrances. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
Nice one. Kevin, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I'm not the biggest fan of barbershop fragrances, old style, 2 years and all, but I think this is done in a modern way. Now, with the lavender in this, I really like it. It's hit and miss with lavender for me. If it's done naturally and it's in a good way, I really enjoy it. But when it's too synthetic, it doesn't agree with me. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this is like a modern twist on a fougere fragrance. Very easy to wear, very masculine. This is the most masculine one, I think, out of all the line of tried, but I was impressed with this one, and great top scent. I think it'd wear most of the year round. So yeah, a thumbs up for me for this one.
Excellent. Thanks, Kevin. Anthony, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is, out of all of them, this is the description of this best fits out of them all, really. Like this, as soon as I sprayed this, like I'm instantly at a barber's. Like, it's incredible how close this is to a like a traditional barbershop, actually. The powdery lavender kind of vibe from this one is what this one's all about for me, and it's just very, very, very old school. The opening, I find the opening the best part of it. Like the initial whiff you get from the opening is just, it's just lovely. I will say though that I didn't really like the deep dry down. So a couple of hours into it, I wasn't the biggest fan of what it smelled like on my skin at that point. But the opening, I could smell for days. It was lovely. It's like you said, it's definitely the most masculine out of them all. But yeah, it's all about the lavender in this one for me, and I love that aspect of it. But because of the dry down element of it, I don't think that I would be reaching for it to wear, because I know a couple of hours in, I'm not going to really like what I'm smelling.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Big contrast from the opening then. Excellent. Barry, what were your thoughts? Thanks, Sam.
Well, I love barbershop scents, and this is probably up there in the top 2 or 3. I really do love it. The lavender is amazing in it. And I really enjoy, which you don't tend to get in barbershop, the basil smell in it. Now, I use basil quite a bit in cooking, and you can get that through quite a lot, because it's quite sharp, isn't it, basil? I like the moss, the musk, and the rosemary as well. So it's got a bit of everything. I really enjoy it. And the one thing it reminds me of, what's the YSL fragrance, Reeve Gauche or something like that? It reminds me of that, and that's like one of my top barbershop scents. It's very shower jelly, isn't it? With a bit more class.
Yeah, it's Chris, what were your thoughts on it?
So to me, this is just like a classic aromatic herbal barbershop fragrance done really well. I really enjoyed the blend of this. The lavender, as you've all said, is amazing. I really get that shaving foam vibe from it, and it smells very masculine, because it's got all those associations with having a gentleman's haircut and a gentleman's barbershop and a shave as well. I think it's great. I got good performance off this. I could really see myself wearing this. I don't have that many. I have aromatic fougères, but I don't have many with this shaving foam accord, which kind of reminds me of MDCI Invasion Barbar, which is a beautiful fragrance. So I think it's really well done, and I would definitely wear this. It's a love for me.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's I had a big smile. Like Ant, I want to dip my head in this. I find I've got a slight similarity. I picked up a very small partial of something recently, and it reminds me a little bit of that, and that is a Platinum Egoist from Chanel. It's got a similar lavender and moss in there. It is quite a bit different. It just shares some similarities, but I think you could say that about quite a lot of these soapy shaving foam barbershoppy fragrances. I'm finding them really addictive. I want more of them in my collection. I really do. I'm finding that I'm liking them more and more. And what I like about this, I made some notes. I think it's obviously clean and smooth, but it's not as piercing as some fragrances from other barbershop fragrances. The oak moss in it isn't as like heavy. I don't know if you find that, Barry. You like something with a lot of moss in. I've seen your collection.
Yeah, it's a bit lighter, isn't it?
In terms of light. It's a bit lighter. It doesn't go as heavy as some, so it remains a little bit sweeter and a little bit more pleasant than some. It's not as challenging. So the way I'd explain this is, if you want, I've got an 18-year-old boy. If you wanted them to get into some older school fragrances, this would be that transition into that type of fragrance, I think, because it's clean and fresh and easy to wear, but without ever being too challenging like some barbershop fragrances are.
I'd start with Brut, to be fair, or something like that, or Old Spice, because it's a lot cheaper.
Tony, I just saw in the comments, Tom was asking whether it's better than Beau de Jour. So I think it might be good to make a comparison to that. So Beau de Jour it's stronger on the lavender, yeah. And because of that, I think it feels a little more classical, whereas I think At the Barber's is a little more of a modern take on a barbershop. And I think this one's mossier as well. I think Beau de Jour is a mossier one. So if you want that really kind of timeless, very classical gents barbershop type fragrance, then Beau de Jour. But if you want something perhaps a little more modern, maybe a little more wearable, then At the Barber's. Both lovely, but both just slightly different.
Yeah, I think this would be perfect, clean fragrance to wear out of the shower as well in the evening. You've got home and you've got shower and you've changed. I think this would work really well for that.
I'll wear this down the barbers.
I like a lot. But no, thanks, gents. That's At the Barber's. Now, next, I think is going to be one that a lot of people. This gets a lot of hype. It's probably one of the most spoken about fragrances from this line, along with Jazz Club. And that is By the Fireplace. And we'll go through the notes. So it has pink pepper, orange blossom, and cloves. In the mid, it has chestnut, guaiac wood, and juniper. And in the base, we have vanilla, Peru balsam, and cashmeran. Nick, what were your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so this was another one that took me to a certain time. So normally at Christmas, I go to the wife's parents and we'll have our roast dinner, and then I'll go and sit next to the fire with a cold Baileys, and then just drift off for an hour or two because I'm full from the roast dinner. But yeah, just that smell from the fire and the smoke, just really stands out for this. But there's a note in this which I can't pick out that really reminds me of Byredo's Bord d'Afrique, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the chestnut. I had a look at the notes to see if there was anything that was similar, but there was no notes at all. But there's something in this that really reminds me of that. I don't know if it's the spiciness with both fragrances, but yeah, this is very smoky, and you can really appreciate the type of fragrance it is. It's a brilliant fragrance. Performance is great. Defo a winter scent, but for me overall, I think I would struggle to wear it and pull it off with this type of fragrance. So I really appreciate the fragrance and know it's a good one, but I think for me to wear it, I think I'd struggle because of that sort of smoky element. Kev?
Yeah, so with this, I love this one. This is really nice. The burnt wood. But the big problem with this for me is, like Nico said, I associate with this Christmas. So I'd wear this November, December, and November for Christmas, because I'm like a big kid. I love Christmas, and I just want that vibe all the time. So this reminds me of it when I wear this. Soon as January came, I wouldn't want to go crazy. After bonfire night again next year. So I wouldn't wear it enough for me to own, but I do love the fragrance. I love the scent. But would I wear it all year? Would I wear it in the cooler months after Christmas? The answer is no. So that's the only problem I've got this. From a personal point of view, it's just a scope is too much for Christmas for me. What do you think, Ance?
Yeah, I think I'm similar to you, mate. Like I know that it definitely does give off like a Christmassy vibe, but this to me is more bonfire night with the smoke. Like the smoke is, I wasn't expecting it to be as smoky as it was, like, because I know that obviously it gets a lot of hype, but when I initially sprayed it, I was like, whoa, I'm not too sure if I'm going to enjoy this. But as it started to settle down and develop more, the more and more that I liked it, and the more and more that it reminded me of Stronger by You. Is it Stronger by You, Stronger with You by Giorgio Armani. This is essentially that with smoke, because once the smokiness kind of dries down and you're left with just the rest of it for the rest of the day, it just becomes almost identical to it. That really sweet, and I think it's probably the chestnut that's in it as well. Is the in both of the in both of them. But yeah, this is lovely. But the opening and the smokiness definitely reminds me of a colder bonfire night where you've got the smoke in the air. There's a lot of sweet things being eaten. It's absolutely gorgeous to smell. Like I said, initially I thought it was going to be challenging, but then it came into its own, and it's definitely one of my favorites of the collection, really. And it lasts forever on me. This one I sprayed it in the morning and I was still smelling that really sweet smell kind of like 8 o'clock at night. So this one is an absolute beast for performance. Bazza?
I love this. I absolutely love it. It's like chestnuts roasting over an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your toes.
Love it, Barry.
But you get the Christmas vibe from it, don't you? With the chestnuts. But you also get, like Ant was just saying, like a bonfire night. Because of the vanilla, it gives off that sort of marshmallow sort of feel as well. The kids have introduced me to something new. Now, I know that in America they do this all the time, and they're called s'mores, where you basically you're roasting some marshmallows and then you put them between 2 biscuits with a bit of melted chocolate and eat them, and they're gorgeous. And this reminds me of that. It really reminds me of that.
I call that breakfast, mate. But
So, Barry, I'm going to be having dreams about you being a singer now. So thanks for that.
With marshmallows.
Yeah, toasting marshmallows and singing by a fire. So, I mean, I love this. I have a bottle of this. I bought it because I just really enjoyed it. It's like it's a combination of roasting chestnuts and toasting marshmallows at the same time over a fire. I think out of the whole Replica line of the ones that I've smelled, this one is kind of one of the most potent, and perhaps to me smells of the highest quality. It just smells really rich. I don't really get much that is synthetic or what we would describe as synthetic from this. It feels very niche. But the only problem with this one, and it's a big love for me, I love it. But out of all of them in the line, it's probably the one with the smallest window of opportunity to wear it in a year. It's a winter scent through and through. I think December, January, and maybe in autumn as well. But I actually filmed a review of this in the Alps, and because I bought it at the airport on the way out, and I was wearing it in a rustic chalet in the Alps, and I was wearing it pretty much in the exact situation that you would, all the imagery suggests about this fragrance. So I think with doing that and reviewing it there, and that created a great association with this scent, which reminded me of that holiday. So I have all those connections with it, which deepen my love for it as well. But I just think it's a really well-made fragrance, and it's sweet and woody and smoky, but never too challenging. It's very wearable. As Ant said, it's a beast mode performer. You spray this, it's going to last 10, 12 hours. In fact, in the snow on the ski slopes, I was wearing it one day, and for the whole day, I was zipping down the slopes, and I was getting by the fireplace for the whole day, and it was cold. So it's a really great fragrance. Yeah, one of my favorite from the line.
Hey, Tony.
Tony, I'm broke.
You've gone a bit.
The audio's been a bit crackly for the past 5 minutes. To be fair, mate.
Is this Tony's audio that's crackling then?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Right, Nick, I'll come back to that. Do you want to count?
He sounds like Dalek.
Oh dear.
Shall I go on to springtime and then Tony can come back? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I ain't got this one, by the way.
All right. Okay.
This is
you
the
got
one
the
I
OG.
got music festival.
Yeah, you got the OG pack, didn't you?
The OG. So springtime for me gave me a sort of feeling of when
springtime feel.
Yeah, exactly. The sun's starting to come out. People are cutting their grass. The lawnmowers are out. It's a very floral, quite soapy. I felt this one lent a lot more feminine for me. It's not offensive, but I don't see someone of a younger age wanting to wear this. Just from what I got from it. But yeah, overall, it's not obviously something that I would want to wear, but yeah, it's just okay. This one for me.
Yeah, well, I find this very feminine. I don't mind wearing like more feminine leaning fragrances, but this was just too far that way.
Yeah,
it opens up a little bit fruity, but then it goes like a bit like old lady type of feminine for me. A bit too much, you know. So I wore this the first. This is the first one I tried because I was a bit curious about it. And like I say, it's quite floral, but with the note in it, I just couldn't take to it. It just went too far lady. Like, yeah, I'm still smelling now. I still can't really take to it.
Yeah, so I totally agree. For me, when I smell this, sometimes when I smell a fragrance, I get a colour, and I just got pink with this fragrance. I just smelled pink. And I kind of thought, you know, to call something springtime in a park, it didn't have to lean so feminine. I think it could have been a bit greener, and it could have been perhaps a bit more unisex than this. This wasn't for me. I've actually written down it's an okay. So I'm the same as Nick. I think it's a lovely smell. I think it's a very pretty smell. Wouldn't mind smelling it on a lady, but it's not for me to wear. But nicely done.
I was thinking it could have been a bit Bleecker Street-ish, but then obviously that didn't happen. I was expecting that type of fragrance.
Yeah.
I have. This is the first time I've just sprayed this. I've not actually had a chance to actually get this, so this is like a first impression for this for me. But I'm kind of totally agreeing with everyone, Chris. What you said about it being pink, like that's spot on. It's just pink. It's lovely. I really quite like it, but not to wear. Like I'd like it to smell on someone. It's nice and fresh. I don't get the old lady vibe from it, but maybe that's a little bit later on in it. But just smells really nice and fresh and clean. And I get the fact that springtime in a park because of the freshness, I guess. And it is quite, to my nose, quite, I want to say quite slightly florally, but it's not something that I would ever choose to wear. Ever choose to wear at all. It's too feminine for me. And I'm no manly man at all. But I could never. I know, as shocking as it may be. I can't seem to reaching for this, but to smell it on someone.
Uh-oh.
All right. It's all right.
Oh, he needs new batteries in his router again.
Yeah.
Have I crashed?
Right,
you've gone a bit slow, that's all.
That's normal.
I'm just
gone a bit jerky. Stop jerking in the live stream, Ance.
That's normal as well, Chris. You obviously don't watch it on a Friday or a Sunday night.
You've not got this, have you, Barry?
I haven't got this one. So what I'll do music festival, and I did note down the notes. So it's got cannabis, patchouli, tobacco, incense, leather, woods, and apple. Now, anybody that smelt Black Afghano for me is quite a heavy cannabis. This is like a lighter version of it. And this is what, I mean, I've never been to Glastonbury, but this is what I'd imagine it would smell like in some of the tents and that. This is the smell, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely love it. It's right up there with by the fireplace and at the barbers for me. It's right up there. Love it. and I can't believe you lot never got it.
I know.
I'm gutted. Gutted I didn't get it. Yeah.
Never mind, eh?
We'll just have to take your
Absolutely
word
gutted.
for it, Barry.
Yeah.
Cool. Shall I go on to... Oh, here he is.
What's the next one?
Fragdicted laptop.
That should say Fragdicted lapdog.
Can everyone hear me okay now?
Yeah. Is this now a third device that you're trying, Tony?
It's just going wrong. I don't know what's going on. I've had to go and tell the boys because you know what? I walked out. I had to go and turn off because I'll go out to the conservatory. I've got Josh. He's got his Xbox on. He's got his phone playing something on YouTube. Not me, by the way. And he's got his PC on at the same time. Now, how can you use 3 devices? I then go upstairs and I've got Scott on his Xbox and playing YouTube videos. So I think a mixture of everything together, even though I've got Virgin with like 200, 300 meg worth of memory, I think it was playing me up. So I've now gone to a very pixelated screen because of my boys.
Well, we can hear you perfectly now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
much better.
And I can hear you all perfectly.
Better that we can hear you rather than see you, to be honest.
Exactly. Thanks for radio. But thanks
So
for keeping it going.
we was on Springtime in the Park, Tony.
Oh, Springtime in the Park. Okay. Did you all was you all massive fans of By the Fireplace, by the way? Was that something you all really enjoyed?
Yeah, fantastic.
For me, yeah.
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 We like it, but it's difficult to wear.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most photorealistic fragrance I've ever smelled. That's as far as I would go. It's I just absolutely love that fragrance, and I love the smokiness from it. I really love that part. And you know what? When it dies down, when that smokiness disappears, I like that bit as well. It's a really lovely fragrance. The vanilla in the background is just, I love it.
Are you going to buy it, Tony?
Yeah, that is one that I would definitely own. If I could own any of these fragrances, I think I'd pick that first. Followed by At the Barber's, I believe. But there's a couple more to come. So did you all finish with Springtime in the Park?
Yeah, I did a music festival.
Oh, did you? So you went a different way because you had a different box.
Yeah, man.
He's baked. Barry's baked.
I need some cookies.
Chris can do that, can't you, Chris?
Yeah, I can hook you up with some cookies, Barry. No problem. Yeah,
excellent, mate.
Right, yeah. So Springtime in the Park for me. I found it light, clean, floral, sweet, a little fluffy, not too heavy, a touch powdery. I found there was a touch of green in it as well, but not green like freshly cut grass, like the stems of the flowers. And I found it just a very pretty, feminine fragrance. Personally, I don't think I could get away with it. I wouldn't feel that comfortable wearing it. It was a little bit too feminine for me.
Yeah, that's what we all said.
Yeah.
Excellent. Glad I got the same thing. Phew. Right. Should we move on? We're cracking through. Right.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Sailing Day. In the top, we have sea notes, aldehydes, red pepper. In the mid, we have iris, juniper, rose, amyl salicylate. I think I pronounced that right. Seaweed, ambergris, amberwood, and cedar. Nick, what were your thoughts?
I felt like this was one of my okay fragrances. I think I've tried that many aquatic fragrances that I don't know. This one just didn't hold up to what I've smelt previously. I got a bit of sort of shower gel vibes from it, and the dry down wasn't as good as the opening for me. It performs okay. It's nice, but not a love for me on this one.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think this is a typical blue, fresh, clean fragrance. Not going to offend anyone, easy to wear, but not much going on in it for me. It's, you know, I like a bit more depth and a bit more going on. But this is just like it's clean, it's fresh. It's just one of them blue fragrances. But I wouldn't personally buy it because there's that many of these flying around, which are a bit better done if you ask me. Not as in like better made, but bit more going on in them sort of thing. I think like there's actually more harm than just a similar thing to this, but better. So yeah, it is what it says on the tin. Nice blue fragrance, but that's about it as far as it goes, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Okay. And what was your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's just a standard for me. It just smells like a standard aquatic kind of like almost kind of salty sea air opening, which was really quite nice. But then it just develops into your standard blue fragrance for me. It's nice, it's pleasant. It smells like 2 or 3 other fragrances, or probably 10 fragrances that you've smelled before that are standard blue fragrances. It's expensive, it's pleasant, aquatic, really, but it's not mind blowing. But this would be a nice kind of introductory scent, maybe into if you've not had it. Maybe not with it being on more expensive side, but it's nice. It's nice. But
Excellent.
I've got like 3 that smell exactly the same. So
yeah, Barry, what were your thoughts?
See, Anthony just mentioned the sea notes and the salty smell. Now, I don't get that from this, which I find really strange because it lists sea notes, it lists ambergris, even seaweed, which you get salt from. But this is more for me like a lake sailing day rather than at sea. I don't get those notes, and it's more of a clean, fresh rather than a salty, fresh.
I will say, Barry, the saltiness I only get from like the immediate opening.
Yeah, probably about right.
Like then it just dies down.
Yeah.
But immediate opening, I get like a salty, like a salt sea kind of vibe.
Yeah, but you'd expect a lot
then it
more,
just
wouldn't you,
goes
with the notes that are listed?
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
ambergris. Ambergris, the salt in the ambergris lasts for ages normally.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
This is not how to do a blue fragrance. This is not. There's nothing distinctive or characteristic about this fragrance. I could step out of my front door here in York and get more of a salty marine vibe in the air than I do from smelling Sailing Day. I just thought that they could have gone so much further with it. And I looked at the notes, and the notes sound so strong. It sounds like it's going to be a strong fragrance. You've got juniper, pure jungle essence. You've got iris absolute, rose super essence, red seaweed, and orchinox. I don't know what orchinox is, but it sounds like it should be like bloody,
like a killer whale.
bold, shouldn't it? Yeah. But this just sailed off my skin way too fast. If it existed on my skin at all,
See what you did.
it wasn't. It didn't repulse me, but it was just a bit of fresh, bit of nothing, bit of air, really.
Yeah.
It just not for me. Just wasn't even a pleasant skin scent. I couldn't really smell it.
Well, that's how much Ant liked it. He's gone. Either he didn't agree with you, Chris, or he just disconnected. He just doesn't want to enjoy this stream. Like, if you can do it, Tony, and play around and muck around, then I can too. So it basically doesn't smell like Orca nuts. Someone just left in the chat. Orca nuts. It's brilliant.
I think at least it would have been making a bold choice if it was trying to smell like orca nuts.
Yeah. I got very similar to you guys. I wasn't blown away by it. I do admit I sent a recommendation to Killer, and the reason for that is because he keeps trying to come up or find new saltier fragrances. And from the opening of this, I did get quite a lot of that salty sea air. I did get that, and I got a little bit of the seaweed as well. So I thought, when I first smelt it, I thought, actually, this is all right. But as it dries down, and very quickly too, it becomes your normal blue aquatic, like you've all said. I got really excited when I first sprayed it in. I got that picture that they're trying to paint. I got a UK port. I got coming into a rocky port with seaweed floating on the water and a bit sort of dirty, a bit synthetic, but nothing I was really excited by. And it was, what else have I put on there? I thought it was very photorealistic to the fragrance, although I think it's a better quality Nautica Voyage. If you want something that will do the same job, Nautica Voyage would do that, wouldn't it? But
Nautica Voyage,
I think if you want a salty marine fragrance with a really nice take on seaweed, then Tom Ford's Oud Mineral is fantastic.
Okay, great recommendation. I found this a little really soapy. Good. I tell you what it reminded me of. It did remind me of something. Do you know the blue? I don't know if you ever had the Imperial Leather shower gels, the blue one, which is like a salty shower gel, salty blue fragrance. This reminded me of that. So nothing that blew me away. And I found that these just wore away very quickly. Not something I would own or buy personally, but did recommend it to Killer.
I preferred Azzaro Wanted Tonic, which I reviewed recently. I preferred that to this. I thought that was fairly generic, but I think it still had more character and more to it than this one.
Well, even Bulgari Aquamarine.
Nautica Voyage has got more to it.
Yeah, I think Nautica Voyage has as well.
I think Nautica Voyage has got more going to it, I think, than that. It's got that soapiness and it lasts longer. I have Nautica Voyage in my gym bag in the summer, just like as a staple, and just it lasts me like about 6-7 hours, whereas that one there, 2 hours, it was just gone. It was gone off my skin.
So I had Barry going like that, and then Kevin going like that. There are, what I was trying to get at, Barry, even if you don't use Nautica Void as the example, you can buy better, cheaper blue fragrances than this, definitely. In my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
Well, but the two Bulgaris, for instance, the Marine and the Atlantique, they're both better, I think.
Excellent. Shall we move on? Because I think, Chris, how are we doing for time? Are you okay for the moment? Or I know you're
we're nearly there, aren't we? So we'll keep going. Excellent,
thank you. Let's move on then. So I don't think the next one will be spending too much time on from the sounds of it. So let's move on to Flower Market. In the top, we have Green Leaves, Freesia. In the mid, we have Jasmine Sambac, Egyptian Jasmine, Tuberose, Rose de Mai, and in the base, we have Peach, Cedar, and Oak Moss. Nick, what were your thoughts?
So I felt this was a bit of a dated fragrance, more for the older woman. It's not something that I would want to have my wife wear. It's not something that would sort of attract me with the fragrance. It's an elegant type of fragrance, but more for the older woman, I think. It's definitely a ladies' fragrance.
Yeah, so this, say to me, this would be very feminine. But I do like the peach notes in this. It's got a bit of a peach notes in the background that I don't mind. Like, I've tried a couple of peach fragrances, like Mula, I think it is, and things like that. And I really enjoy the peach notes. Although I would agree that it does lean a bit more mature. It's nothing that really blows me away or anything like that. It's just a nice, decent fragrance. I don't think it's the worst that I've smelled out of the collection. I don't really mind this, but it is quite an older fragrance, but the peach notes is what grabs me back in, I think.
Yeah. We'll go back to Ant in a minute. Barry, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very flowery, isn't it? But I think there's more green notes in this, whereas before in the springtime in the park, you'd expect more green notes. There seems to be more in this one than that one. But yeah, it's okay. I don't think I'd get the wife to wear it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Marks out of 10. 4.5.
But would the marks out of 10 be for us to wear or to smell on someone else? Because it would be probably different, wouldn't it? That's why it's difficult to do marks out of 10.
I agree.
Yeah, if you're marking it on yourself, I think it'd be very different than if you were marking it as if your wife were going to wear it, wouldn't it? So,
yeah.
What were your thoughts, Chris? We'll move back to Anthony in just a sec.
Yeah, way too floral for me. I mean, the peach stood out, and the jasmine was slightly dirty, and I just thought it was, it was nice. It's a nice blend, but just totally not something that I would wear. Too fruity and floral for me. A really nice feminine fragrance, but I don't think it's a sexy fragrance. It's not a sexy fragrance that I'd like to smell on a woman. I think it's maybe I think it's something an older lady might wear. So on someone else, I'd probably say 7 out of 10 for me, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, excellent. And what was your thoughts and feelings on this one?
Smells like my nan. It's just very, very dated. Smells like an old lady. I think everyone's.
I'm really glad I didn't say it was sexy. Now, if you say it smells like that.
I was about to say it's definitely not sexy. I mean, I would class my nan as a classy lady, so I do think that there is a like slight elegance to it, but it smells like a nice old lady. Would I want to smell this on someone, a female of my age? No, but I know that I'm probably going to smell it on every kind of like elderly woman that wears a fragrance, because they all kind of smell like this. Just smells like my nan. Yeah, I'm never going to put that on.
What were your thoughts? So I think we've got everyone's thoughts there. What was your mark out? What I was meant to say, and what was your mark out of 10? What would you say?
For me, 1. Because I couldn't ever really see me wearing it myself, and depends on if I'm smelling it from someone else. It's a nice smell. I know I think my nan smells nice, but I'm not gonna really be attracted to that kind of smell because of the association I've got with it. So again, it's probably a low mark for female as well.
I won't go too much into it. We'll move on to the next one, but I'll give my marks. For me, again, very low, 2 or 3. I just couldn't see myself wearing it. For the most floral fragrance of these, the one thing I would say, it does meet the name. Flower Market, it's quite photorealistic again, I thought. It's like a freshly cut bouquet of flowers. It does florals very, very well. I would say that about it, to be fair. So if you are really into floral fragrances, I think that you could like it. Personally, I find that too floral. I don't find it too feminine. And I got Beck's thoughts on it just to make sure I wasn't being too harsh. And she found it, even for her, too floral and too mature for her liking. So I'm being polite there, but I didn't like it very much for me at all. So moving on. On to the next one. Under the Lemon Tree. I won't go in the notes. Let's move on. Nick, what were your thoughts?
I really enjoyed this one. So this just gave me thoughts of when I'm eventually on my health kick. I tend to have some lemon water, and when I'm cutting it up, getting that sort of smell from that. But yeah, this is really bright and sort of energizing type of fragrance, and it reminds me of some of the Atelia fragrances where it's got that photorealistic type of fruit smell to it. But yeah, this one is one that I really enjoyed. Really nice fragrance for me, this one.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Kev, what were your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I like this one. It's just like a fizzy lemon to me. It's like sharp, bitter, natural lemon. Just lemon all the way, very clean. This reminds me of when I used to go to like a Turkish barbers and get like the skin fade and all that. At the end, when you used to clean all your neck up and all that, you used to have a lemon spray that you used to spray all around your neck and all over your head, and it used to like sting the neck. You know, one of the ones that reminds me of that. But that was like it's one of them fresh lemons. You get a bit like a bit of a sherbety type of lemon in this as well. It's very yeah, I like this one. I'm not too fussed about the fruity, clean, fresh ones, but I'd buy this. I do like this. Does what it says on the tin, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, for me.
What was your thoughts, Ant?
For me, this is lemon sherbet. It's lovely. This is a banging summertime fragrance that you can just.
Anybody else hear him?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear him.
I can hear you.
Oh, wicked! Oh, wicked! Yeah. So yeah, just lemon sherbet for me all the way. Like the lemon is just lovely. It's just I think it's just a perfect summertime scent that I would reach for a lot. Really, kind of reminds me of the Vibrant Leather Summer slightly from Zara that I recently got. Just the zingy citrusy pop. But I feel like this is better. This is a little bit more. Well, you're going to get it for the price, of course, but this is better. This is better blended. But yeah, the citrus bomb in this one is just wicked. And yeah, I'd reach for that a lot.
Excellent. Glad you like it. What was your thoughts, Barry?
Yeah, it's very lemon and lime, and it's got like a tea note to it, which I really enjoy. And I think there's a lot of greenness to it, whether it's the leaves off a lemon and lime tree. It's lovely, but I think there's also a spicy undertone to it. I'm not sure what the spices are, but I can tell there's some spice there.
Yeah, it's got some cardamom and coriander in there. And
okay.
Yeah, so I think that's what you're smelling. Coriander, probably.
Yeah, it's lovely. Really enjoy that one.
What were your thoughts, Chris?
Well, interestingly, when you talk about the name Under the Lemon Tree, this one actually doesn't have a lemon note in it, which is which is crazy. It has citrus. It has citrus in it, but not lemon.
Is that the lime?
And it's not. I don't even know it's lime. I think it's.
Has got lime in it.
Yeah. So it's kind of. I get more if I'm going with the lemons thing because of the name. It reminds me more of a lemon oil rather than a freshly cut lemon, which I guess is what I was expecting with it being called Under the Lemon Tree. It reminds me more of a citronella candle than it does a freshly cut photorealistic lemon. And I like it, but if I'm going to wear a lemony or a citrus fragrance, I prefer it to have that crisp, clean, masculine quality, like an Acqua di Parma type of fragrance. If I'm going lemons, that's the type of fragrance that I want. So I didn't find this, other than it being a quite likable lemon oil type citrus fragrance, I didn't feel like it had great projection. I think it was quite close to the skin. And I think it could have had more of that clean, crisp, masculine vibe. I think this does have petitgrain in, which can give that clean, masculine accord. But I don't feel that the petitgrain is very prominent in here either. So it's pleasant, but it's not a citrus scent that I'd go with Colonia Acqua di Parma Colonia Senza any day of the week over this one. So I quite liked it, but not really one that I think I would wear.
Okay. Interesting thoughts. I think we're going to get different things from this. I found it, again, quite photorealistic. I found it weird that there was no lemon in it as well. But I get more of like a lemon tea, so sort of... or if you cut a lemon open, like the pulp more than the whiteness of the lemon rather than the actual zingy fruitiness of the lemon. So I get that sort of the white that you get when you open it, like you get when you open an orange or a lemon, and you smell the pulp rather than the sort of zingy skin or the zingy juice. That's what I got from it. I thought it was quite smooth. And I'll tell you something I thought really helped this that I haven't seen mentioned anywhere was it's got the cardamom and the white musk, and those two bits with the lemon make it quite a smooth fragrance. They make it. I really like the cardamom in it. I think it gives it this sort of real good balance without. So it isn't really uplifting, but I find it quite smooth and easy to wear. So if I wanted something more zingier, I would wear other things that you guys have mentioned. But it's not. I don't think it's meant to be as zingy as something like Brooklyn with the fizz. It's not got any fizz. It's just very smooth. So I liked it. I think it's something I would wear. It wouldn't be something I'd rush out and buy. My rating out of 10 would be about a 7.5. I like it quite a lot, but I'm not overly excited by it. If that makes sense. I can appreciate what it smells like. I do like the cardamom in it a lot.
I think this is trying to do similar to what the Galan Aqua Allegoria line are doing, where they're trying to stick right down the middle of a unisex. Whereas something like Millesime Imperial, which is based in Sicily under the lemon trees, that's got a lot more masculine notes to it.
Yeah. Let's get Ant back in. Right, shall we move on to the last one then, fellas? We're moving on for time, so let's move into the last fragrance. We have Whispers in the Library, and that didn't show many notes that I could see. I'm not sure if there was more on the website, but I could see pepper, vanilla, woody notes, and cedar. What were your thoughts on this one, Nick?
I really enjoyed this one, and I think vanilla is one of my favourite notes. And what I got from it was, if you think of Gallivant's Istanbul, take away that sort of Eastern vibe from Istanbul, and that will give you this with a bit of pepper sprinkled on it. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it because of that vanilla note for me. Really like it. Performance was decent on it as well too.
What were your thoughts on this one, Kevin?
This is my favourite one. I love this.
Really?
This to me is like, yeah, I loved it. I was surprised by it. I didn't expect it to smell like this. Now, this to me should be my lazy Sunday morning, because you get the vanilla and you get the, like, I get a little bit of coffee Baileys type of vibe from it, like a bit of bacon sort of things, you know. So I was pleasantly surprised, and it performed quite well on me. But I'm a big fan of vanilla anyway, so yeah, I loved it. I get like a bit of like a vanilla bourbon in it, a little bit of bouginess off the top there. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a lovely scent, very smooth, very cozy, perfect for the cooler months, if you ask me. And like I say, like a nice little Baileys coffee tea vibe I get from it. Unbelievable scent.
Excellent. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, vanilla. The vanilla comes through straight away. So just a really nice smooth vanilla. I'm a huge vanilla fan. But a weird thing that I get from it is I get quite a slightly powdery kind of vibe to it as well. I don't know if anyone else gets that. It's not massively prominent at all, but it's just a little bit powdery, and I think it adds to the vanilla quite nicely to my nose. I maybe. Yeah, it's exactly what I get. I get vanilla and a slight powdery note, and it's delicious. It's what I find. It's just I think I could eat it.
Not put your head in it.
I wouldn't put my head in it. I'd maybe drink it.
Barry, what was your thoughts?
No, I try and stay away from libraries. I'm not really a book person at all. How can I describe it? I mean, it is a woody vanilla, isn't it? And there's a bit of pepper in it, but it's not the sort of thing that transports me to what I would expect to smell from a library. But then maybe it's because I hardly go. Well,
I think this would make me go to the library more.
Yeah,
probably. But it's a nice enough smell. I have worn it a few times because I know that Lizzie from Rose and Jones, she raves about this and says how good it is. And so I've tried to wear it on more than one occasion, and it doesn't last on my skin. I don't know if it's my skin chemistry with it, but it just doesn't work at all on me. And it just fades straight away. I'm not very impressed with this one, to be fair.
Okay.
It's a very nice woody vanilla scent. I really enjoyed this one. Whenever I wear a vanilla, I like it to be I like there to be a strong assertive note in the composition as well to balance the vanilla. If it's just all vanilla and too dominant, it's just a little too boring almost for me. And also with the name of this one, exactly like Barry, I thought this was going to be a slightly different smell. So when I think of a library, I think of this might sound like a horrible smell, but I mean it in a good way. But you know, that musty smell of old books, that very comforting smell. Get a little bit of that from something like Enigma. And you know, if there was just a little hint, maybe it says precious woods. Oud isn't listed specifically, but if there was just enough oud, not to make it skanky, but just to give it a little kick, just a little bit of backbone to wrap that vanilla around, then I think this one would have been a real winner for me. I enjoy it, but as far as vanilla scents go, it's not got quite enough to it for me to think it's a really, really good fragrance that I would wear a lot. So very, very good, but not what I was hoping for from the name, unfortunately.
Do you like
Annie?
I
still enjoyed it. Pardon?
Do you like Annie from Nishani?
Oh, I love it. It's a great scent.
Yeah, really
love that one. Brilliant scent, yeah.
I wrote down 2 words, vanillic woods. It's you know what? No, I think it's light, quite ozonic for something that's got vanilla in it. It didn't have a lot of backbone, I felt, with woods and vanilla. You expect that to be a heavier scent, a bit like Annie, like you just said. That's how I expect that type of fragrance to smell. And I just found it quite quiet, and that is in the notes. If you look, it's whispers in a library. It's quite light. So, and whether it's purposely done that or not, I'm not sure. Whispers in a library, you get that woods, but it's very, very quiet. It didn't jump out. I found it cozy and cuddly, though. I thought it was something that is quite addictive to smell. It just didn't blow me away. In fact, actually, I like the smell a lot. We opened the box at the weekend, and I was off, and Becca decided to wear one of the fragrances, and she smelled all of them quickly. And this is the first one she went to. She wore this as her scent of the day on Saturday, and I found it a little bit. We both found it a little bit disappointing in terms of the wearing. It didn't seem to last very long. We didn't get great performance from it. I've worn it since. I admittedly wore it sort of bedtime after the shower, and I kept trying to find it. It was there, but I felt I was going nose blind to it quickly, or it just wasn't performing. So I feel that it could be stronger, and that links into what you said, Chris, with adding maybe something there to give it a real boost. I'm not sure what it's missing, but it's missing something.
Maybe a bit of oud or a bit of patchouli, something just to make it a little more assertive.
Yeah.
Well, what Chris said as well about.
But I enjoyed it.
What Chris was saying about it not being like what you'd expect is with the book-wise. This is more like a modern library, whereas something like Encre Noir with the musks and the things that's in there, it's more like old encyclopedias, which you'd expect more from smelling of old books.
Yeah. Nice though.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
Tony's gone to sleep.
I think Tony likes it a little bit too much.
Yeah. Oh dear. He couldn't get to the end of the live stream without another little technical hiccup.
And that was the last one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
was the last one. Yeah. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take Tony to sort this out. I think he's coming back. Yeah. I was just about to say I'm gonna sign off, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for joining. Sorry about the technical problems again.
It's all right. Hey, it happens with these live streams, whether it's YouTube, Instagram. There's always something that you never account for, especially when you're getting 6 people in the stream. It's never.
I'm becoming known for it, aren't I? It's pretty bad.
But only because you live stream so much, so you appear to get a lot of technical issues. But if everyone live streamed as much as you do, everyone would get those kind of issues as well. So it's not you.
Thank you, Chris. But thanks for joining. We haven't got much left in terms of time, so we're going to all be signing off shortly. But I just want to thank everybody in the comments again that's been talking amongst themselves. It's been really good of you to join. Sorry we haven't interacted much with you, but it's and sorry for my technical hitches. But these guys, I think, are awesome. I've really respected all of your views on all the fragrances, and I felt it was actually quite nice that we didn't agree on all of them. It wasn't as predictable as some might think, which I think is good. On a whole, just to sum up just quickly before we all leave, what would be the fragrance you would go to, Chris? If you was to buy one from this box, what would be your first buy?
Well, I've already bought it. Don't even see that Jazz Club.
Brilliant.
But actually, really? I would say it would be.
See that Nigel was trying to sell that one on, and I'm still tempted.
I've had it for a while, but the one that I don't already own,
playing up on the stream again. Tempted but if you wouldn't mind pointing out, Barry, what were your thoughts? What would be the one that you would buy?
Okay. Chris was still talking then, Tony.
I don't think you can hear.
Can't hear.
Anyway, for everybody else, I was going to say the one that I don't already own, which I love,
screen is
would
going
be.
A bit funny again. I think what we'll do is I will end there because this is going wrong again.
It would be at the Barbers. I just want to get that out. It would be at the Barbers. That's the one I would buy that I don't already own.
I think we should put an end into it for this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, I interrupted.
No. It's fine. It's technical issues.
I think we should.
Okay. All right.
But thanks again, everyone,
guys,
for joining.
It's been a
I'm going to end the
pleasure.
broadcast.
Thanks very much.
And we'll see you again on Sunday.
See you later.
Thanks for coming, Chris, and thanks everyone else. Thank you. And I will catch everyone again very soon.
Keep still.
See you later. Thank you.
Oh gosh. That killed me.